Israel has absolutely no intent on hurting even one Palestinian.
We can live together in peace and serve God. That's what it's written.
Everybody,
you don't like it?
mankind.
Too bad.
We have Zionists. Who have entered the camp.
Who should the people be supporting? The people of Israel, Palestine, or should it just be everyone come together and find peace?
You cannot logically...
We are headed to Columbia University to see what is going on with the protests that are happening here at these college campuses. We're gonna go see what's going on, talk to people. I honestly don't know too much about what's happening with the Israeli conflict and the Palestine conflict, so we're gonna go talk to them, see what all this chaos is about, and should be wild. Colleges across the country are breaking out with pro-Palestine protests due to the ongoing war in Israel. Palestinians are making their voices heard by taking over streets in big cities like New York City. In this video, I will be speaking with New Yorkers and sneaking into the pro-Palestine encampment at Columbia University, where students and protesters have taken over the campus and destroyed historic buildings in hopes of raising awareness for Palestine. So what's going on inside of the college right now?
What's going on is these pro-Hamas protesters are basically taking the campus hostage, and they're just not letting go until they have these obscure demands of, finishing the war, and they have no idea what's actually going on. So honestly, it's pretty crazy.
And how much are you paying to go to college here?
I pay $60K a year.
And you can't even go in right now?
No, I can't. I don't feel safe going on, and I'm paying to be here. I'm Jewish and Israeli, and it's just sad, honestly.
Have there been fights that have broken out inside of the university between the Jews and the Palestinians?
Yeah, they've been highly aggressive. They thrown water bottles, they snatched our flags, our Israeli flags. We did a counter protest. You can see the difference in our protests against their protests. Their protests are very violent and aggressive, while we just sing for peace. So it's just sad.
What are they protesting for right now?
They're protesting for globalizing the Intifada, basically killing as many Jews and Israelis around the world. And it's just sad, honestly.
So there's a war between Jews and Palestinians.
Yeah, but it's not as simple as you just said. It's way more complicated than that. At the end of the day, everybody just wants peace, but the definition of peace can be very subjective, for sure.
We are here by the Columbia University to show for the world that Jewish people stay with the Palestinian. We are Jewish people that they never recognize the state of Israel. The stand of Jewish people is that we can stay together with the Palestinian with no problems as before the upcoming of the state of Israel. The Jewish people was live together like brothers and sisters, no problems.
You cannot be blocking the sidewalk.
We moved to another spot, and this group of Jewish men got in an argument with another Jew.
So I respect your opinion about the state, and you don't have to believe in it, you don't have to support it, and you don't have to live in it.
Don't say that you represent Judaism, and that's all.
I'm not claiming to represent you. I'm just saying you're still included to me. I'm still including you and the Jewish people, but you're not including me, right? You're not including me.
I'm not including you and you're not including me. We do separate things. No, we do it.
We don't change my religion, that's all. That's all I want. That's all. Okay, no problem. That's all.
I'm just saying I consider you a part of the Jewish people, and you don't consider me a part of the Jewish people. To the best of my knowledge, this is part of several sects within Judaism that believe that the books of the Bible, they believe that God basically said that the Jews are not allowed to try to establish a state on their own, and only when God decides can the third temple be rebuilt. Is that an accurate description?
No, it's not.
Only when God decides, He will take us back. By human force, or not by human force, only with godliness.
When God does that, what do you think is going to happen to the Palestinian people?
They're gonna live together in peace. We're gonna live together in peace and serve God. That's what it's written.
Everybody,
you don't like it? Too bad.
I respect and understand what you believe. I don't believe in it. I don't think it's true. But I think it's important to realize that just because two groups of people oppose a certain cause doesn't mean they're on the same side. And because their religious beliefs are that it's wrong to have a Jewish state in any way without divine power, then they'll oppose that under any flag necessary. But it doesn't actually mean that they're friends to the Palestinian people.
So what do you think about what's going on here?
I think that any Jew who does not support the state of Israel is not a real Jew and should be excommunicated. That's what I think.
Are you Jewish yourself?
Yes.
And why should they be excommunicated? These people claim they're Jews, and you guys claim you're Jews as well.
Well, I just think they're dumb.
Isn't it disrespectful to talk about people like that?
How did they earn my respect in the first place?
What do you think about his comments that he just made about these groups of
It's
Jews?
disrespectful. Just imagine me talking about Israelis like that. They're all dumb. Wouldn't that be disrespectful? Yeah, you have to be objective.
This is how they're always going to be no matter what, right? To them, it's not about a made-up genocide, right? So you can't...
Could I just say one thing about it? Like, it's not about religion, it's not about politics, it's about humanity.
For them, it's about
it's about humanity. And the war should stop, the killing should stop. It's not about religion, it's about humanity.
Anything else you'd like to add to those comments?
My main point is that things are being omitted. When you get your news, you're not seeing the fact that Hamas is essentially completely crippled and almost completely destroyed. There is no more Hamas, pretty much. It's almost all gone. Israel's closing the war out. It's about to be over. People think that the only people that have died are civilians. That just doesn't make any sense. When something doesn't add up, you're supposed to question it. But people say, oh, 30,000 civilians died, but the rockets, they stopped firing. Hamas is on its back foot. A lot of the Hamas leaders are being assassinated and taken out, but they think it's only civilians dying. It just doesn't make sense. It doesn't add up.
After speaking with many people outside, I decided to take the risk of entering into the university and going inside the encampment. I went to the encampment and it was very strange. The protesters had taken over the campus with their tents, and I tried to speak with the protesters, but no one would answer my questions. How long have you guys been in here for?
Oh, we're not talking.
How long have you guys been inside of here for?
So we're not press trained really.
Upon entering inside the encampment, I had to agree to their community guidelines. I found number 7 very strange, refusing to share details of anyone you meet inside the camp with school administration and NYPD. Inside the encampment, it was filled with signs and messages, and they even had created their own library. They had free food for anyone inside the encampment and brand new camping gear. I was then kicked out of the camp after being ambushed by 4 leaders of the camp for filming. Later that night, a few students went into the camp, and this is what happened to them.
We have Zionists. Who have entered the camp. We are going to create a human chain. Where I am standing. Please join me in this chain. Going
You
to
see how hostile this
slowly
is? And you're asking me not to record?
walk and take a step forward.
Yeah, I absolutely feel threatened. You guys don't have to do this, you know? You're all here because we're here. Why are you giving us
We were here
power?
before you came here.
I understand that, but you're doing what
Repeat after me.
you're doing. What you're doing.
I'm bored. We would like you to leave.
My name's Catherine.
My name's Aiden.
We're just actually trying to have a community meeting in a sec.
Well, we're asking you nicely. Please leave.
Why can't we be on the lawn?
Because you're not respecting the safety.
I'm on the lawn. You know I pay to go here.
You violated the community guidelines.
What community
How's everyone doing
Do you think the majority of these college students honestly know exactly what they're protesting for?
The majority of these college students are here on a government loan. They are studying something unbelievably stupid. They are basically being bilked for money. They have no idea. It's the next cool thing to do. The average person, I think, at these protests is the kid that isn't cool or good looking enough to be invited to a house party. So because they're not invited to a house party, they make their own, which is out here, which is why what happens when they summon these people with a flyer, 10,000 of them show up. These are 10,000 people with nowhere else to be, fundamentally. So no, I don't believe that they have any idea what they're protesting. I don't think they know about what the Green Line is, or the 87 or the 67 borders, or the 48 war. These people don't know what river and what sea. I think they think it's from the Hudson River to the Atlantic, maybe. Like they have no idea what river and what sea.
Who should the people be supporting? The people of Israel, Palestine, or should it just be everyone come together and find peace?
You cannot logically and fruitfully say that you support the people of Palestine for several reasons. One, they elected Hamas. They are amongst the most religiously Muslim countries or territories in the world. This idea that they're these beautiful, friendly people, they are extreme. They are like ISIS level. They want a caliphate. So that's number one. Number two, the word Palestinian was created in 1967 by Yasser Arafat after they lost yet another war. They are Jordanian. In fact, if one is honest, every Arab state that we know today was created after 1917. People talk about the division of Palestine, but real Palestine was right after World War I. That included all of Jordan. So what they want is not a 2-state solution. What they want is a 4-state solution. They want Israel, Gaza, Jordan, and the West Bank. And on top of that, that's not even counting Syria, Lebanon, and all the other Levantine Arab countries. The reality is that these people who have become the most metastasized form of Islamist in that region are not wanted by other Arabs. Other Arabs are so happy to push them in their fight with Israel and don't want to take a single one of them. That's what it comes down to. If they are Arabs, they belong in other Arab countries. So if you're going to support someone, if you want peace, the answer is population swaps, and it's to create an actual Jewish state with its own borders without a constant need to somehow provide food and water to its neighbors who also hate them.
Do you think America should be involved with this conflict? Because we are about 6,000 miles away from what is going on. Do you think we should be involved with what's going on?
So this is one of the unfortunate parts of the right, and the more fringe parts keep arguing, what does it matter to us? I mean, what do you mean, what does it matter to us? This is the only foothold of the West in the world, and certainly in the Mideast. If you look around the rest of the planet, look at every Western country. Open borders, no free speech, limitless immigration. They give the immigrants all the benefits. They allow them to riot on the streets. Israel and America are the only two countries left that have any amount of control of their borders, of freedom of speech, of freedom of religion. And that is why these people hate Israel so much. To many people, it isn't even about the Jews. It's actually a hatred of any country they perceive as being white and as having closed borders and any kind of nationalism. Israel to them is the last bastion of this, and they hate it so much because they only see the world in terms of brown and white. Israel is whiter, their opponents are browner, they must be right. And as far as why it matters to us, the amount of money we're throwing out there, look at some of these agencies, how much money they're taking up for nothing. They are not even close to the amount of money we send to Israel, which only can use it to buy our weapons anyway. And the final thought, and this is very important, we give Israel money because we want them to upkeep this endlessly defensive war with their neighbors. People on the left think that if we stop giving Israel money, Israel will just disappear. Israel, if we stop giving Israel money, Israel will have to start fighting offensive wars using their actual military might, because it's much more expensive to sit in this endless stalemate and defend your savage neighbors crossing your borders than it is to just flat out push them out, right? That is a luxury to live this way, and what we're being pushed upon is effectively it is effectively the racism of lowered expectations. Israel's being told by the West that you need to be better than them, and why do these so-called progressives think this way? Are they suggesting that they think that Arabs are unable to make better decisions than Jews? Is that what they're saying? So if you stop funding Israel, Israel will have to go on a warpath, because Israel is never disappearing. Israel is a 1900-year-old dream of the Jewish people. We predate just about every other culture on the planet. We're not going away. Not again. So if you stop giving us money, we're just going to have to find it ourselves. So that would be unfortunate for everybody. And Israel also, America pays for a little influence, or as you see now, quite a bit of influence over Israeli politics. It's pay to play. In Russia we have a saying, he who pays for the band orders the music. So if you stop paying for the music, don't be surprised when the band plays songs you don't like.
At the end of the day, this war and battle that is going on is between religion, race, and land.
All of it. All three are mixed together with the, obviously with the addition that Jews are one of the few, what we call an ethno-religious group, which is it's a group that has kept largely the same religion, and because of that, the same ethnicity, and it's the two feedback. Sikhs are the other example of this. Okay. So yes, it's all three of those things mixed together, which in the Mideast is not surprising.
What president do you think will be best to control the situation?
There is simply no question about this topic. We had 3 years, if you don't count, of Donald Trump, where there were no conflicts. Russia made no territorial gain. Iran actually kept to its borders, and there was no war just about anywhere. Now, unfortunately, when dealing with people who live and think like savages, you cannot show weakness, you cannot show moral equivacy, and you can't not try to play the both sides argument. There is no question that Donald Trump is, setting aside if he's better for America or not, he is so much better for the Mideast, and he is better for peace, because the answers speak for themselves.
What are we seeing here in New York City with these protests that are going on?
What we're seeing is that Israel isn't doing genocide. They're falsely accusing Israel of doing genocide in order that they can support terrorism. Israel has absolutely no intent on hurting even one Palestinian.
And your sign says, "Free Palestine, stop the genocide." What is going on with the Palestinians?
Well, the Palestinians have been occupied under oppression for 75 years, and we're fighting back to get our land back, to be free. We are basically slaves, just like the blacks we were slaves in America. And Israel is a terrorist state. It is a true terrorist state, It's a cancer in the Middle East and keeps growing. They think they should have that land. They believe it was promised to them by God, but they don't believe in God. It's all about control, and Israel to us, the Palestinian, is just a base for the United States, and it is it's a new way of colonizing the Middle East because they have oil and petroleum.
We were just talking to some other people over here. We were talking to some Palestinians, and you came over here yelling.
Okay. Oh, yes.
And what are you yelling for? What are you about?
Well, I am against Hamas, and the chants that I was yelling, mostly in Arabic, were also against Hamas. For example, with our blood, with our soul, we will redeem you, O Israel. It's like a pun on the kind of what they say, you know?
So are these people bad people, or are you
what's
going on?
Listen, I think these people are just misguided. I don't know these people well enough to know if they're good people or if they're bad people. But I think that they're misguided in not standing up to Hamas, which also is a danger to the Arab world.
Okay, and so are the Palestinian people supporting Hamas?
Some of them are, some of them aren't. But even the ones that aren't are hostage of them, and it's really unfortunate for them.
From what I've seen so far, I've been talking to people, it sounds like it's such a complex issue that really no one has the answers.
Well, it is a very complex issue, but some things aren't complex. Like, war is bad, terrorism is bad, all these things are bad. We stand against them. In fact, I think even they stand against them in the way that they understand, and I stand against it in the way that I understand. But ultimately, even they and we have the same goal. We want peace and prosperity for our children, and we don't want our heads to get chopped off by the other side, you know?
And after walking around and talking to some New Yorkers, we heard that a new encampment had been set up at NYU by pro-Palestinian protesters. And what are you guys standing for here at this rally?
We're here because NYU is complicit in this genocide. They have many divestments that help and contribute to surveillance of Palestinians and destroying their homes. So we believe that our tuition should go towards our education and not contribute to a genocide. It's simple as that.
Okay, so the main reason why the students are protesting is because money from NYU is going to Israel or to support the genocide?
Yeah, and it's going towards many investments that are complicit in the genocide right now. And there's a university in occupied Palestine, Tel Aviv, that gives education to Israeli students. Meanwhile, every single university in Gaza has been bombed, and our tuition is part of that.
You guys are saying that your tuition is being used to bomb and commit crimes on the other side of the continent.
Part of our tuition, yes, part of our tuition. We need to divest from Israel and invest in our education.
How long do you think the students will be here for?
As long as needed be. I'm not too sure. Until we hear from the administration and our wants and needs are at least addressed.
Okay. Do you think the students will be willing to be here for the next 30 days if needed?
Yes.
Year?
We'll see. As long as it takes as long as it takes.
What's your opinion on what's going on here?
Yes, my opinion is, at first, I respect all this campus. They are all my students. They are all my classmates. But I want to say this protest have some problems because they support for Palestine, right? But at first, Palestine invade Israel. Is that truth for all the peoples? But also, Israel killed Palestinian peoples, also the children or the hospitals. What I want to say is this protest should to make the U.S. stop support for the Israel weapons because all the United States peoples are taxpayers. The United States makes our tax to make weapons to support them to war. We should stop the wars, right? Yes. All you guys support for me, right? We should to change the protest. Should to make the United States people stop pay tax for the war.
That's what we're saying. Yeah. Our tax dollars.
But also, you should not make the campus to stand for any others of countries.
And if you enjoyed this video, please give it a like and subscribe to this channel. We are so close to 100,000 subscribers. I will be responding to your comments down below. This is Nick, and I'll see you next video.